Still loading.
Okay.
Maybe.
I think we're live.
I'm trying to see it. Let's see. I think, okay, yeah, we are live. Yes. Okay.
Hello, anyone who is already here. I can't tell, but welcome.
There are a couple people. We'll wait a couple more minutes for people to join, possibly. Let's see. I hope everyone's having a good Saturday. Wait, yeah, it's Saturday.
Yeah.
I forgot for a second.
I mean, it could be Sunday or in other places.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. So happy good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Isn't that like from the Truman? Was it the Truman Show? Have you seen it?
I think so. Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, a long time ago, but yes.
Yeah, I think he has like a certain saying. He says like good after good morning, I think good afternoon, good evening, and good night. It's a really good show if y'all haven't watched it.
Isn't that? It's the one where his life is being filmed.
Yeah, it's the one with Carrey, Jim Carrey, and he is, I think, the first baby who everything is being filmed, and he eventually realizes, actually I don't know how much I should spoil, but okay. But he begins to realize how things are not what they seem, and it sort of makes you also question if we're sort of being filmed or watched, or if our whole world is a lie at times. But super interesting. I really liked it. It was a good movie. And Jim Carrey is really funny.
Yes. Okay, I guess we can kind of start getting on topic. So basically we're here. World Rainforest Day was Monday, June 22nd. But we're here today to kind of just have a conversation about rainforest, forest, sustainability, environments, just kind of touch on everything in a casual conversation.
Yeah, so hello, salam alaikum, ni hao, whatever other languages there are. We hope you all are all safe and well wherever you are, since we know everyone has been touched by this pandemic, and it's hurt people in a variety of different ways. And so we're just thinking of everyone out there too. But I'll let Morgan introduce herself first.
Yes. So we're both students at the University of Virginia. I am going into my last year there, my fourth year. I'm studying global development, and then I have a minor in history. I want to go to law school, and then somehow, not exactly sure yet, but kind of combine my interest in development work and also law and policy. Yeah. I'm also with HAF. I'm working with another UVA intern, Jacqueline, and then Katie on some of the the grant proposal for the legal aid clinic in Fez. And that's been really cool. That's been probably one of my main projects. But then I've also been doing some stuff for World Rainforest Day with Leigh.
Wait, where are you based, or any fun facts?
Yes, I am in Virginia. That's where I'm from, like Northern Virginia, so like right outside of DC. And that's where I am now, and that's where I've been for most of this pandemic, COVID.
Okay.
That's everything. I don't really have any more fun facts. I've always been bad at fun facts.
Okay. So my name is Leigh. I am a rising third year at UVA. I recently declared my majors, so I am going to be studying global studies with a focus in security and justice, and also women, gender, and sexuality studies. Um, and I have enjoyed my internship so far with HAF. It's been really amazing. I first was reading about it actually my first year, and it just sounded super interesting because of their participatory approach, which works with local communities through all stages of developing, managing, promoting projects, and just through all the stages. And um, it was just a different way of helping that I hadn't really heard of or was aware of, because I think growing up, I did some volunteering in high school and stuff along those lines, and I enjoyed it. But it also, there's also, I think, the thing of, is it for me, just for college or for a resume, or is it actually helping the people I'm trying to help? And so I just wanted to learn different ways of helping, and so that's why I've been really interested in working with HAF. What else? Oh, I am based in Camden, Maine, and so I'm really close to the ocean. I'm like 5 minutes walk from it, but the ocean's also really cold still. Let me see if I have any fun facts. Um, hmm. Oh, okay. Actually, I have lots of stuffed animal cows behind me. I don't know if y'all can tell, but I collect stuffed animal cows since someone gave me one when I was really young, and I somehow became obsessed. So, yeah.
I love that.
A little weird, but fun.
Yeah, fun facts have always been something I've been bad at, which I don't know why. I'll
You
one
have
day. What was that?
have any pets?
I have a dog.
Ooh, what kind of dog?
She's a lab. Oh, I guess like a yellow lab.
Oh, sweet.
Yes. Okay, cool. So I guess we can kind of start getting into topic of our conversation. I guess we briefly want to just we also wrote a blog post for the HAF website, and so we're gonna kind of just briefly talk about some of the stuff we talked in or wrote about in the blog post, because I feel like it kind of sets the ground for our conversation pretty well. Did you want to start off or with some points, or I can go if you?
Um, Either way,
Okay.
it's fine with me.
Yeah. So I guess I can just briefly start. So we wrote a blog post basically talking about kind of the ways that humans have had a impact on the environment and hence climate change, and like the increasingly progressing climate change. And a big factor for that has been is forest deforesting, and that's for like a variety of reasons. Humans, for like the mining and logging industry, just like urban development, animal agricultural, the animal agriculture industry is a huge cause for deforestation. And yeah, so those are like kind of, they all release a lot of just carbon and greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, which contributes to the warming of the, what's it called? Oh my gosh, I'm blanking. The atmosphere, I guess, and then hence climate change. Do you want to add anything onto that?
And so we also talked about the High Atlas Foundation and what it has been doing so far. And a big focus for them has been sustainability and sustainable development, and specifically putting sustainable development and Moroccan communities at the center of its mission. And so we were talking about agriculture, for example, and how I believe it's been since 2003, they planted more than 4 million seeds and trees with farming families who have benefited from these trees, to help further education, to help with their livelihoods, to go towards other initiatives such as supporting women and health and anything else that the communities think is something that needs to be addressed. And I know that these impacts have really made effect, I think, on not just only the people but the environment. And hopefully these effects are long lasting and far reaching into the future. And I know that HAF is also working on this tree proposal, which I don't know if Morgan, you want to speak more to, or anything like that.
Yeah, I guess basically there's been research kind of backing up a little outside of HAF, but just on kind of how we can, I guess, reverse climate change, or things we can do to kind of just better our environments. And planting trees has been a solution, a possible solution. Obviously, it's not going to like single-handedly solve climate change, but it has great possibility to kind of equalize or reverse some of the climate change effects by absorbing carbon from the atmosphere. And so I think that's why it's really cool, the tree planting program that HAF does, which one is planting trees. I believe within the next 2 years, they're trying to plant 1.2 million trees annually. So one, obviously, that has good environmental benefits, but also the way that this is also supporting local community members and rural farmers is really cool and impactful. And another, I guess, interesting thing I've kind of found from doing research is the way that like Morocco is especially vulnerable to climate change effects. And kind of with that comes the different socioeconomic statuses are differently affected. And so the way that like rural communities are especially exposed to systemic poverty and also just climate change impacts is interesting in the way that like this program can kind of help support them financially or economically, but also doing their part environmentally. Trying to think if there's anything else.
I think there are different ways you can help with HAF's planting of trees and things like that if you all wanted to. So you can help contribute by donations. You can also share things online, just helping to raise awareness and things along those lines. I'm sure there are other ways to help that I probably have not touched on at all, though,
Mhm.
in terms of helping with the trees.
Yeah, I guess really quickly, specifically to HAF's program, it says, or some of the things you can do are contribute financially to the currently existing nurseries. Can fund a certain number of trees annually. Let's see, grant a certain amount of money annually. So I think, I guess the main point that I've really got from this is choosing to support organizations, businesses, corporations, large businesses that are trying to make a positive environmental impact, because that's really a huge thing we can do personally. And so, yeah, so I think this is a really good way to do that. Just one way. And then really quickly, I saw someone included in the comments a video. I haven't watched it yet, but I think it says the diet that helps fight climate change. And Sarah said this describes the best diet to adopt for climate change. Yeah, and I haven't watched that, but I think that's also another huge aspect of sustainability that I've become really interested in. Sorry, I'm kind of segueing into different aspects of the environment and sustainability. But it's definitely been something I've educated myself more on, is how my diet impacts the environment and climate change. And so I'll definitely watch that video after this. Thank you for linking that. And yeah, I know that's one way personally. Like I kind of touched on earlier, the animal agricultural industry is very large, obviously, and hence keeps growing and kind of taking down forests and also just producing a lot of methane. And yeah, I don't want to like be here to like preach any diet, but I think it is really interesting to see or learn more about the ways that our diet can have either a positive or negative impact on our environment. And I think that kind of just leads to our last points of our blog post, which was just educating ourselves is a huge step in making positive change. I think that you can probably talk more about this, Leigh, but educating ourselves is kind of like the first step to making more environmentally conscious decisions, I think. And just always having it in mind, I think, can make a big difference in the long run.
Mm-hmm. I think that's a great point. Especially, I think now during the pandemic, which has exposed many of our vulnerabilities and has shown just how certain groups of people and animal species and other things are hurting more than others, and just it's exposing what is already there, and perhaps people weren't aware of this, and now that this has become more prevalent and relevant in recent news, I think it's an opportunity for all of us, rather than just saying sorry and just sort of pushing it aside or something along those lines, but taking this moment when we've had more of a chance to slow down, but really just questioning our own actions and biases and trying to learn as much as we can. And I know people have different levels of access and education, and it could be harder from where you are to try and educate yourself. But I think just even being aware of your own actions or even inactions can help in having dialogue with friends and family. I think that's a really an important one too, because friends and family already sort of like they know you, and it can sometimes be easier to try and, or even harder to venture into that kind of conversation since you are so close to them usually. But um, well, just in the uh, just to make it short, just educating yourself and being aware of what you're doing, why you're doing it, how it's impacting other people, and just to keep that in mind. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And I think personally, a good way that I have been able to have more of these conversations, well, first educate myself, but also then have more of these conversations. I personally really love like documentaries or like the YouTube videos um, on just, yeah, the environment, sustainability, climate change, human impact. I think personally, I think I learned the most from that, and it kind of touches me the most. Um, I don't know about you. Like, how do you have like a favorite mode of learning?
Um, hmm.
Could be just in general, but I know that's my favorite in general.
I've also enjoyed looking at documentaries. I really enjoy reading, but I actually haven't read as many books on the environment as I should. So something I should get on. I I don't know.
I didn't mean to put you on the
No, no,
spot.
no, that's totally good. That's totally fine. I think there's just so many different ways. I don't know if I have a preferred method.
Mhm.
I think it has been easier for me to also, I think, consume things through online. But I think also just I've enjoyed and been really lucky to go outside and just be in nature and just, I think, appreciate all the wonder and mysteriousness that it is. And because I actually grew up in Memphis, Tennessee, and so I grew up in a city, and we had a backyard which um is still the like nature and the environment in a way, but I think not the nature that we tend to think of when we're like mountains or oceans or things like that. And now living in Maine is brought me closer to nature, and I've been outside a lot more, which has made me appreciate it a lot more. I think, um, and yeah, that's
No, I think that's a really good point. Being in nature helps appreciate it so much more, and figure out ways you can be more kind to it. Um, so with that, I guess I'm curious, um, what's I guess from here we kind of just wanted to have a little bit more of a casual, sorry, just to preface it really quick, conversation about our relationship with the environment, nature, and sustainability. And especially since you're from Maine, which seems I've never been, but um, it seems really cool and pretty. Do you have like a favorite memory or even just like place to be in nature or yeah, anything like that?
there's really so many beautiful places in Maine. Um, there's this um place called Maiden's Cliff, and it's a pretty short hike. It's only about 30 minutes. Um, but you walk up it, and then you're just met with this beautiful view of the mountains and the water. And there's like 180 or more or so views, and it's absolutely gorgeous. And then, so I have two younger sisters, so we'll usually hike up there, and then once we're done, right across from the hike or from the trail, there is this lake, and so we'll eat and hang out, and then we'll go swimming, and probably very simple, but it's truly it's just so nice to just hike, then just go right across the street and eat and swim. I absolutely love it. What about you?
I think so like you said, we both go to school at the University of Virginia, which is kind of located, I guess you would say it's in the mountains. It's kind of like, I feel like neck close to them. I don't know. I think personally, I've just really enjoyed one, there's so many just good views around, which even that just makes me very grateful and appreciative of nature, but also there's a lot of good hikes, many of which I probably haven't done, but I think that's definitely been a favorite spot of mine, just Charlottesville in general. I think another favorite is the ocean. I love the ocean. And so I've been trying to, I guess, one, like really recognize my gratitude for these nature, kind of like the simpler things in life, like nature. And from there, just educate myself. Like I know, again, I've like watched different videos and documentaries on our impact on the ocean, and like I feel like once it just breaks my heart, kind of the way humans have kind of just, I don't know, I don't want to say carelessly, but kind of just abused these natural beauties and resources.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of favorite memory though. Like I don't really have a favorite memory. I think I do have, honestly, like this sounds maybe weird, but my favorite memories are just like times when I'm just in nature and really recognizing my gratitude and my how appreciative I am of our Earth's beauty.
Mm-hmm. Wait, do you have any fun videos or YouTube or anything along those lines that you think we should watch?
So like I said, I'm really into documentaries. I've watched quite a few on Netflix. Um, I think I've watched YouTube videos, or I have watched YouTube videos as well. I just haven't saved them, so I don't really know the names of them. But like I said, there's one in the comments that Sarah added, which will be really cool. But what was I going to say? Oh, the documentaries that I've watched and really like are, so one regarding the ocean is A Plastic Ocean. That one was really interesting and kind of moving. It really made me want to be more conscious about my decisions when it comes to like single-use plastics, and just things in general. So yeah, that one's called A Plastic Ocean. It might be on other platforms as well, but I watched it on Netflix. And then another good one, I think it's pretty popular, at least here in the States, but Cowspiracy. I don't know if you've heard about that.
I have. I actually haven't watched it yet, though. I need to.
So good. I loved it. But that one's basically about the animal agricultural industry, and just the impacts it has on the environment, which is very great compared to, I think, a lot of industries that you might have thought, or just pollutants, than you might have thought, just because takes a vast amount of natural resources, water, land, soil, which leads to just like I guess overexposure or overuse of soil. Deforestation is a huge reason for deforestation. It uses a lot of water compared to like a normal like, I guess, non-animal agricultural, like just plants, fruits, vegetables, trees, bushes. And so it kind of just follows this guy as he tries to talk to these large animal um, industry corporations and try to get answers, and if they like know about the environmental impacts they have. And it's just really interesting to see kind of how I guess the impact this industry has on our environment. um, and I would say that's kind of like the main reason I personally stopped eating meat, is for that reason and that documentary, among others. I've watched a lot of others about like plant-based diets as well. But okay, so that was the other one. I'm trying to think if there was another one. Those are definitely my two favorites.
Mhm.
Um,
Didn't know you were a fan. I am too. That's really funny.
yes, I think that's really like a huge way you can live a bit more sustainably. Um, and I really enjoyed it. Um, yeah, I think those are my two favorites. There's a bunch more about a plant-based diet, which is um, linked to being more sustainable and more environmentally conscious. All the documentaries aren't necessarily about the environment. Some are about just health and nutrition impacts, obviously impacts on like animals. Um, but I think that's a huge way if you want to take steps towards becoming more plant-based or just consuming less animal products. Um, like you don't even have to be entirely like vegan or vegetarian, or just kind of making like a little bit more, I guess, conscious decisions sometimes not to eat meat makes a big difference in the long run.
Mhm.
So some other ones that I've watched relating to that are Forks Over Knives, What the Health. I'm trying to think. I'm blanking now, but I do remember those two being really good as well. Yeah.
I think we also just want to preface too for all of these. We understand people again have like different levels of privilege and access, and um, maybe for health reasons you can't be entirely vegan or vegetarian or other things like that. And so just keeping in mind that I think most people can contribute or help the environment in some way, but we understand that there's that way looks very different for different people, and just keeping that aware too, that everyone has a different story and things along those lines. I need to stop saying things along those lines. I just say that when I don't know what else to say.
Yeah. I completely agree with that. And I'm reading some of the comments. Sarah is saying, I'll comment the names of the documentaries. Um, I love the hiking culture. Yes, I knew there was one by Leonardo DiCaprio. I'm blanking on the name of the documentary. I might have, I've watched that one though. Um, and yeah, you don't have to be vegan to help. I totally agree. I'm not vegan anymore. I used to be, because it is difficult. And I know, again, like privilege and access is a huge, it's just not easy. It's, yeah, not as accessible for everyone, and that's totally okay. There's so many other ways we can make an impact. One, just by buying from local farmers, and a huge way we can do that. And I know that's really at the center of HAF's work with like tree planting, which is cool. But yeah. In some parts of the world, sorry, I'm reading a comment right now. Sarah said, in some parts of the world, having a strictly plant-based diet is actually more harmful to the environment. Yeah, I think I've read that before too. And I can totally see it. It's not for everyone. And I totally recognize that and agree. Yeah. Trying to think. Can you think of any other ways that like you've maybe you maybe do to live more sustainably, or you want to do?
I remember watching the True Cost, which is about the impact of the fashion industry, and I think it was inspired by the 2013 factory collapse in Bangladesh, and just having a better understanding and awareness of the fast fashion industry, because I have bought things from like Forever 21 and H&M, and I think that really showed me how far removed that, especially growing up in the US and in the city and things, how far removed we are from the people in these factories, from the animals in these places, and how we many people like don't grow up seeing like cows and other things, and sometimes it can be hard to realize the full impact of all that we do. And I think that documentary just showed me, brought it closer to home, how much my actions, whether it be financial, whether it be food, anything along those lines, travel, what have you, contribute in different ways to helping or hurting the environment. So I've been trying to buy more secondhand, because I've looked at sustainable stores, and they are very expensive.
Yes. Yes.
Very, very expensive. And I also don't know if it's better to, like, I know that it's good that they're sustainable, but I've also thought about, is it good that we're just having more and more stores? Isn't it better just that we reuse and reduce our use of things? And I feel like sustainability in the fashion industry has become more of a focus in recent years. But I think with that, again, I think things will become a headline, and it's easy for people to jump on the bandwagon to show that they're supporting this and that they're doing this without sometimes really understanding the full implications of what they're joining, or things along. I think because even though sometimes stores say they're sustainable or ethical, you have to like really read about what they're doing, because they could be greenwashing you or things like that. And again, just being aware of, again, like I think that goes back to the point that we've both been making about educating ourselves and being really aware of our actions. And of course, we're going to make mistakes, and I've made mistakes and have been like, if I see something on the headlines, it's sometimes it's it's easier to react rather than taking a step back and thinking it over before making your own action. I think I definitely went off topic. I'm sorry.
I think that's a huge, I totally go off topics too, but I think that is a huge one, the fashion industry. That's also something I've been trying to, I've learned more about recently, but also just be better about generally. Again, like buying secondhand. One, it's so much cheaper. And I think you can still get really cute or whatever you need. But yeah, so that's also another way. I like that she said, taking the bus. Sorry, I'm reading a comment again. Sarah said, more ways you can kind of just live more sustainably is taking the bus instead of your car. That's a really good one. Like car sharing, carpooling, public transportation, just reducing emissions in that way. let's see. Yes, fashion. And then got some comments about meat production is way more harmful than production of vegan. Yeah, having more neutral style, more timeless clothes helps because you don't feel the urge to buy clothes very often. I agree. And you can kind of switch them, like mix and match and kind of play around with that in that way. And that can be fun. That's definitely something I've been trying to be better about is just recreating, I guess, my outfits, my clothes, my pieces. So I'm not buying as much new. And I think, yeah, it has been going well. Really quickly, I just wanted to kind of go back to a previous point. Sarah also said because veganism can sometimes have a greater carbon footprint depending on where you live. And I think, yeah, that's true in the way that like transporting, is that the right word? I think so. Like, or shipping, I guess, of really anything. So that includes meat, or even like plant-based products can have a larger carbon footprint than say eating, if you have your own farm and eating your own livestock, or yeah, your own livestock, or whatever animals you may get your food from. And so yeah, in that way I do agree that the plant-based foods can have a more harmful environmental impact if it is coming from internationally, if it has to fly to get to you on a plane. Yeah. Let's see. Sorry, I just want to see if there's any more comments. But yeah, so I think that's kind of another main point I wanted to highlight and make is that, like, yeah, we're going to make mistakes and we're not going to be perfect in living sustainably. And honestly, the world is just complicated, and it's hard to always make the right decision. But I think as long as we're trying our best and continually educating ourselves and having these conversations is a step in the right direction. I don't know if you had anything else you wanted to say, Leigh.
Hmm.
I think if we had anything else we wanted to talk about.
I'm trying to think too. Any more questions that you wanted to ask? Hmm.
No, maybe I personally don't have any questions. I think maybe just leaving on the point that it affects us all, and so I think in that way we should all care, and I understand that might be easier for some people than other, and I totally recognize that. But I don't know, like Sarah said earlier, we oftentimes take the earth for granted, and I think now more than ever we are seeing the impacts of that, and it's just time to make change in order to make this a healthy planet for future generations, ourselves, and yeah.
Yeah, I think that's very well said.
All right. But I think we can go ahead and end this here.
Thank you everyone for joining.
Thank you so much. Thank you for all the comments and the interaction. Made it a lot more interesting for us as well, and fun. And yeah. All right. Have a great rest of your day.
Stay safe and healthy. Wash
Yeah.
hands, wear a mask.
All right. I'm going to end this. I hope I do this right. All right. Bye.
Yeah.